Hi ladies, welcome to the Feminine Mystery. My name is Azalea Dawn, and on this channel I talk about leveling up, femininity, elegance, and getting yourself into the right hypergamous relationship for you. So if that sounds like something that might interest you, then please feel free to go ahead and subscribe and join me on this channel. I would love to have you here. Today's video is all about how to get a man to spend on you, right? So let's get into this. When it comes to getting the kind of financial support that you want from a man, it can be a bit of a nuanced process, right? We're all looking for different things. But I do want to lead with the fact that in order to get value, you're not able to just like take advantage of people, if that makes sense. You have to give people things that they want in order for them to turn around and give you things that you want. You need to provide value in order to get value back. That entire idea where you can just kind of like show up in front of this person and say, hey, I'm giving you nothing, now give me all of your money. Unless like you're heavily armed, that's not a very compelling sort of argument there. So unless you're going to practice like robbery and fraud. As far as like legal methods, we're going to get into how to get a man to invest in you. And my first bit of advice here is to get him invested from the start. So what do I mean here? As far as getting him invested in the start, you don't want to be the girl who is settling for very low ticket experiences. You want to think about yourself as being part of a marketplace, frankly, right? In terms of, dating nowadays is very much a marketplace. There are different people available who are essentially commoditized, and other people who are getting to know you on the basis of being a commodity, what it is that you have to offer versus this other girl over here, versus this lady, versus this woman, right? What do you have to offer that is unique to you, right? And you're also looking at people who want to be seen as having the best of the best, right? That's the audience that you're going to want if you have somebody that you want to invest in you financially. A man who has the power to do that probably wants, high ticket, fine things. He wants the nicest thing available. So like think of yourself like, or I don't want to say like think of yourself as a car, but think about cars as an example. The road is covered in Hondas, Toyotas, from, side to side, and you want to think about yourself as like the Mercedes on the lot. You want to think about yourself as standing out as the most premium option. So whenever it comes to a man wanting to meet with you, you need to go for the highest ticket investment that is possible there, right? And when I say like the highest ticket, that might be going to an affluent restaurant, that might be going somewhere really nice, but you don't want to be the girl who's meeting him in like the parking lot of a KFC. That is just not where it is that you want to go. You want to be the highest ticket experience. Now that's not to say that you want to be the most complex, right? Like at the end of the day, like buying a Mercedes involves going to the dealership and paying for the Mercedes. They don't make you do like calculus equations and solve a riddle to buy a Mercedes, right? So you don't want to be like this like high maintenance nightmare where it's impossible to please you, but you do want to have it be such that there is a very high bar set in order to go out with you. And ladies, getting into my next point here, you must look the part too, right? So this is a bit of maybe a bit of unpopular opinion here, but you want to remember the fact of the matter is that all things are based on reciprocity. You have to give in order to get. So you can't just be one of these girls who is showing up, very like basic in like these grubby clothes like sweatpants and t-shirts, messy hair, a body that might be less than desirable to the person that you're going after, or just somebody in general who looks like they don't really care about their appearance. Other people are not necessarily looking to, especially men who have access to the kind of lifestyle that you would like to live, they're not necessarily looking to be with somebody who looks like something less than desirable. A good example of this that I think a lot of people will resonate with is the release of the Balenciaga trash bag, right? At the end of the day, people don't necessarily want to spend thousands of dollars on something that looks like A trash bag, literally a trash bag, you know? I think that it can be obviously like a great PR move, a great way to get your name out there on social media to just, like blow thousands of dollars in a trash bag. But like you see the way that people aren't necessarily responding to that positively. The same thing goes for, like the Kanye West Yeezy collection where it's presented in these garbage bags. Again, I understand that Kanye West has a vision there, but that is the kind of thing that you don't want to be doing when it comes to your getting a man to spend on you. You don't want to be somebody who looks very basic, who looks like you're nothing special, who looks like you don't really pay attention to yourself or look the part, and then expect him to take you to this incredibly nice restaurant or to these luxury trips in the back of a yacht or something. It's not going to look right. So you want to make sure that you're somebody who is representable, that you look the part, that you look like you belong in a luxury place. Next up, ladies, again, I want to continue in that theme of reciprocity because when we're talking about getting a man to spend on you, you also need to think about what it is that you're giving him back. We don't just get things for nothing. In order to have somebody, like give us something, we have to make sure that we are giving something as well. So that's why you want to focus on the value that you provide to a man, right? So there is a lot of very unique value that women provide, and you really want to lean into that and focus on what you're doing that he really benefits from. For example, you are, hopefully in the process of your level up, if you aren't already, you're becoming this very beautiful, very elegant woman. So when somebody is taking you to a very high-end, high-ticket experience, maybe to like the nicest restaurant that is in your city or in your town, right? The benefit is that they get to be seen, men or a man in this case, he gets to be seen with you, right? And the feeling of being seen in public with a beautiful woman is something that is just irreplaceable to a lot of men, especially a lot of men that are very conscious about their image. They love it. You could also provide the feeling of being deeply listened to, right? So when it comes to really caring about what it is that he has to say, looking at him in the eye and listening to him, like how often is he going to get that experience outside of romantic relationships with women? And also the experience of just being physically touched. So when you're on a date, you don't want to be the girl who is, kind of like a little bit distant or anything. You want to touch him, warm up to him, and really provide that value of being in this experience with you. Now, ladies, one of my biggest pieces of advice in getting a man to really spend on you is to make sure that you avoid social daters and time wasters. Now, a big part of that is qualifying your buyer. So when I say a social dater, I mean a guy who dating is his primary social activity. So every like weekend or every time that he has some free time, he's on a dating app, he's going on a date, he's seeing who it is that he can go out with, and he might be at this for years at a time, and you don't want to be with somebody like that. You want to qualify your buyer. So one example of this is like when you think about like luxury real estate, right? Like for example, the luxury real estate sold on Selling Sunset. In reality, like they don't just let anybody up in there, right? You don't want just millions of strangers walking through somebody's future home. You want to make sure that the people who are entering into luxury real estate are people who are seriously qualified to make an offer and purchase this home. And that is the process of qualifying your buyer. So when you are meeting with a realtor, especially in the luxury real estate market, they might ask you leading questions like, the kind of mortgages you qualify for, or maybe you're a cash buyer, what price range are you looking for? They might be asking you why it is that you're looking for a home, right? If you have recently sold a home in another area or you're relocating, what it is that you do for work. They're asking you leading questions to make sure that you are qualified to buy. And you want to do the same thing in your dating life. So when you are meeting guys for the first time, you don't necessarily want to pry into every aspect of them and start asking them like what their cousin's sister's name is, but you do want to ask them very basic questions about, what it is that maybe not something so basic such as like what it is that they're looking for, but like let's say you're on a dating site like Hinge or Tinder or something like that. You want to ask them how long they've been on this dating site, if they have gone on how many dates that they've gone on as a result of it, you know, things like that. Just start to understand like what it is that they're doing and what their intentions are, because you are better off spending your valuable time on you than wasting it on a man who lacks those serious intentions. If all he wants to do at the end of the day is sort of like go out and like entertain himself, and he's doing that with girl after girl after girl, he doesn't have the funds to spend on you in the first place, because he's going to rack up quite a bill taking all these girls out to different places. It wouldn't surprise me if he's looking to not be the financial provider on the date at all, considering that he is constantly taking out different women. And you can get more out of spending that time on you, spending it with yourself, just reading, educating yourself, or even like exercising, engaging in your health in some way, right? You can get more value out of that time just spending it with yourself than you can with him. So always avoid those time wasters. And that'll be it for me today, girls. See you in the next video.